always have to have people remind me all the time. I'm never thinking about the small details. So I'm good to go.
You're good. Welcome.
Let's take it away. Thank you, Lindsay, for the intro. I appreciate it. Lindsay, like she said, has been in like 500 of my training groups. I appreciate her so much. Excited to go hang out with her in Arizona for her team retreat. So to tell you a little bit more about what I do, I've been a member of the John Maxwell team for the last 2.5 years. Basically certified public speaker, life coach, leadership trainer. The way I got involved with Beachbody was reached out to Brittany Powers. Some of you may know of her by now. She hit top 10 last year. I reached out to her early last year. She was my first Beachbody client, and there was just such a good fit that she introduced me to her mentors, who introduced me to their mentors. Before you know it, I had an entire business built around Beachbody. It was never on purpose. It was just the fact I love Beachbody programs, and Brittany had enough influence because of, I think at the time she was a 2-star. She was number 35. She was a baby compared to what she's doing right now. And it just worked because I get your guys' business, and I kind of specialize in taking John Maxwell's material and putting it into Beachbody terms. And that's the thing with outside trainings is a lot of them are great. I apologize if you hear my kids. They're supposed to be going to bed right now, but you know how that goes. A lot of outside trainings have great material that really help you, but doesn't always translate into Beachbody. And I believe that sales, like what you guys do, is a totally different monster than a lot of different businesses. For example, you can go, I'm sure most of you have learned this already, you can go through a branding training, which is great, and I think people should do. I think understanding your brand is very valuable, but that does not replace the 3 vital behaviors. You can have the prettiest pictures on the planet. You can have the most incredible logo and the greatest graphics in the world, but those things do not sell challenge packs. They do not recruit coaches, and they do not duplicate coaches. Am I right? I don't care if you got the prettiest face on the planet. That may get you a few coaches, but that does not build a consistent business. And so what I've tried to do is my business has actually also been built on one-on-one sales, reaching out to people, messaging people, building relationships, and then building influence with people. So I actually relate a lot of the way I grew my business, but then also the things that I've learned specifically from John Maxwell, and I literally put them into your language, so there's no guesswork. You don't have to try to figure it out. You don't have to translate it. John Maxwell a lot of times puts things in more of like the corporate world terminology. And that terminology does not really translate into Beachbody because it is nothing like corporate world. Am I right? So tonight I want to talk to you about 4 levels of influence. These are 4 words that every single one of my one-on-one clients could rattle off to you at any moment. They have them memorized. You could literally call any of my clients right now and say, what are the 4 M's? And they could tell you. And I'm going to tell you this tonight because I think that it is the perfect model to duplication. How many of you want duplication? If you don't want duplication, you're in the wrong business because that's what this business is all about. It's all about duplication, right? Here's the 4 M's. Number 1 is model. Number 2 is motivate. Number 3 is mentor. And number 4 is multiply. I'll say those again in case you missed one. Model, motivate, mentor, multiply. And they're in that order for a reason. These are the 4 levels of influence that everything you do is built on. If you want duplication or multiplication, number 4, the previous 3 have to be done. You absolutely cannot multiply without modeling, motivating, and mentoring first. And so I want to walk you through what each of these steps looks like in your business and how I believe it's done properly. Okay? So number 1, the very foundation of everything is modeling. Now, just like the 3 vital behaviors, the most important foundational vital behavior is being a product of the product. Would you guys agree? If you are not a product of the product, You can invite out your butt, and you can read every book on the planet, and no one will trust you and no one will listen to you. Am I right? Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a perfect product. Obviously, all of us have a journey. We're all moving forward. Sometimes we have slumps. Sometimes there's pregnancies, there's injuries, all these other things that might put a little bit of a slump in the process, but you're still continuing to evolve as a product of that product. The same way being a product of the product is the foundation of the 3 vital behaviors, is the same way that modeling the proper behaviors is the foundation for being a leader. And what I mean is this. Someone said this on the National Wake Up Call a long time ago. I don't know who it was because I don't actually listen to them because I'm not a Beachbody coach. But of course, I hear from my clients different things that different people say. And I absolutely love this. I wish I knew who it was so that I could give credit to. Maybe someone will remember and tell me. Someone said this. Before you go to bed at night, ask yourself, if my coaches did what I did today, would they be successful? And that right there is the definition of modeling. If you are not modeling the right behaviors, I'm telling you right now, it will be almost impossible to multiply by any means other than luck. Sometimes luck does happen. One of my good friends and clients, she signed Carly Del Carlo her second month in the business. She did not model, motivate, or mentor Carly Del Carlo. She just happened to get lucky and in her first month signed someone who went and figured it out on herself and became a top 10 coach. Luck happens sometimes. But how many of you know you don't want to build your business around luck? You want to build your business around being intentional, because luck may or may not happen. But if you become intentional, I believe you can make anything you want happen. So number one, you have to be willing to do the things every single day that you tell your coaches to do. If you don't, they know it, they can tell, and your motivating and your mentoring will mean absolutely nothing. Now, let me kind of lay this out, how this looks at the different levels in this business, because I know we have anywhere from diamond to superstar diamond. If you are a diamond, I'm going to tell you right now, one of your biggest problems is that when you hit diamond, you thought that that meant you needed your own team calls, your own team trainings, your own team culture, you went out and started recreating the wheel. Why? Because we've made such a big deal out of the word diamond, the rank diamond in Beachbody, that when people get to diamond, they think that they have got to this pinnacle place where all of their dreams are going to come true. There's rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns, and they're going to live life by design. And how many of you have figured out that that's not the way it works? You get to diamond. If you're lucky, you're making $250 or $300 a week. Most diamonds are making more like $150 a week. Ain't no rainbows, unicorns, and butterflies on $150 a week. Am I right? You have absolutely got to stick to the things that got you to diamond. Too many people put this big push together to get to diamond. They get there and they go, oh, wow, I'm so glad I got here. Now let's take a break, let's take a rest, and let's help my coaches get to diamond too. Which would be a great plan if you had other coaches that wanted to get to diamond. But here's the thing, guys. There is a word that has changed everything, actually 2 words. And those 2 words are discount coach. I don't have anything wrong with discount coaches. I think discount coaches are great. Every great rock star in this business that I know started out as a discount coach. But having a diamond status usually means you have 6 discount coaches, a spouse who went emerald, and one other person who went emerald. You don't have enough people to even mentor anybody. You may have one person who's ready to be motivated and mentored. The rest of your team is discount coaches, which means you just need to keep being a health and fitness coach to those people and find more people that may actually want to work the business. And you get so caught up in all of these leadership things that you stop modeling the proper behaviors because you're trying so hard to motivate and mentor all the wrong people, and then you get frustrated, and then 2 years later I'm having a chat with your upline trying to figure out why you've been stuck at Diamond for 2 years. And I'm telling you, that's how it happens. You stopped modeling. You never get to stop recruiting coaches. You never get to stop running challenge groups. You never get to stop doing the things that got you where you are. And if you do, you'll have a really, really, really hard time moving your business forward. So now let's move on to more elite level coaches, okay? Anywhere from 5-star to 15-star, here's the common struggle that I see. And honestly, most of the people in between Diamond and 5-star struggle with either the first thing or this thing, okay? And that is this. You get to the point where you have big enough of a team that you got a crap ton of people to try to motivate and mentor. And what you allow to happen is you allow motivating and mentoring and creating training groups and all the things that you should be doing. You allow those things to completely take over the entire business altogether. And you stop recruiting coaches consistently. You stop seeking out good people, which means you're fine for the first year, maybe even the second year. But I have a lot of clients who have been elite multiple times, and their biggest struggle right now is they don't have anybody to motivate or mentor because all of their rock stars went and did their own thing and became elite coaches themselves. And the only PS coaches they have left are people from like 2 or 3 years ago who never panned out and are just hanging around doing nothing. And now they have no team energy whatsoever because all of the good people have run off and done their own thing. That's what good people are supposed to do, right? You're supposed to multiply yourself into them, and then they're supposed to go do their own awesome stuff. The only way for you to keep moving your business forward, if you want to repeat being elite and you want to rank advance beyond whatever you're at right now, whether that be to 10-star or superstar, or maybe taking your second business center to elite or superstar or whatever, the only way is to keep finding new, good people. And some of my clients built such incredible funnels that they hit Success Club without any problem at all. Success Club just happens automatically. But within this funnel, they forgot that the funnel was never meant to replace intentional recruiting. It was only meant to support it. Let me give you an example. I have training groups that I run. I have over 200 people a month in my training groups. They're pretty much sold out every single month. That has created a really nice income for me that's completely autopilot. I have an assistant. She takes care of my Facebook ads. It's just literally rolling like this. I have her set up with scripts. She sends them to people. They sign up. Just last month, I literally made off of just my Facebook ads, my old daytime, full-time job income. That's a great funnel, right? But here's the thing. That funnel will stop if I stop seeking out good people to work with. Last month, I sought out Melissa McAllister, and we started working together one-on-one, which opened up her entire team to then go sign up for my training groups. Now I have a new friend, I have a new client in Melissa McAllister, and that seeking out good people opened up 100 other doors for me. Brandy Botts happened to find me through my Facebook ad, and I was very, very intentional the second I saw her name about reaching out, creating that relationship, staying in contact with her, being very intentional. Last night I spoke for her entire downline, and I had 40 people sign up for my training groups in less than 24 hours. My point here is not to brag about anything I'm doing. It's to show you that the funnel is great and you need to keep that moving. But if you want your business to move forward, you still have to get out of your comfort zone and seek out good people who will help you take your business to a new level. And if you stop doing that, your business will eventually run dry. Now, you may still have a nice income. You may still pay the bills, but you'll be tapped out. You won't go any further. I always tell people you will never go to a new level on yesterday's knowledge or yesterday's people. And that is not in any way to discredit or to disrespect yesterday's people. I still love to death Brittany Powers, who was my very first Beachbody client. We were just texting right before I got on this call. I still love her to death. She's one of my best friends. But if I just sit around and think, well, I have Brittany, everything should be good, life will just happen, everything's magic now, my business won't move forward. I have to continually take ownership of my own business and continue to seek out good people. If your business is failing, or not even failing, if your business is stagnant, which to me is failing, it's 100% on you. It's not because your people suck. It's not because your people don't want to work the business. It's not because your people aren't motivated. You will multiply who you are, not what you want. Let me say that again. You will multiply who you are, not what you want. We would all love to just multiply incredible people. But that doesn't happen on accident or just because you want it to happen any more than you wanting to lose 20 pounds and get a six-pack happens just because you want it to. How many of you found on your health journey that six-pack abs don't show up just because you want them? Anybody else discovered that? If they did, I would have the most ripped abs on the planet because I want them really bad. But I'm just going to be honest. I'm not willing to sacrifice a few of my treats that I really, really like to have those Melissa McAllister abs. I really, really, really like my espresso every single day. And I like it mixed with some milk and some caramel. And that to me is a little more important than six-pack abs. I still work out every day. I still eat clean for the most part. But there's just a few things I'm just not willing to give up. You don't get greater things because you want them. You get greater things because you work for them. And we tell new coaches that all the time. But my question to you is, are you still living that? Are you still doing the tough work? You can never, ever, ever become comfortable or complacent, or I promise you it will trickle. I've seen it happen. It will trickle into your entire downline. And then you'll be on a call with me asking, how the heck do I rebuild momentum in my whole downline? That's no fun. So, number one, we have to model. We have to do the things we ask other people to do. That's just good character, guys. It really is. Okay? Number two, motivate. I want to talk to you a little bit about what motivate should be and what it shouldn't be. Okay? My definition of motivation is finding out where people want to go and helping them get there. Finding out where people want to go and helping them get there. What most people do is we as leaders try to figure out where we want to go and we try to get others to get us there. That is not motivating. That is manipulating. Do you understand the difference? Zig Ziglar says it this way. You can have anything you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want. You can have anything, guys. I've built an entire business around just helping other people get what they want. I don't have rank advancements. I don't have any of that stuff, but I have clients and that's what they want, so that's what I help them get. And by doing so, it's made my business successful. Your business's success depends on, can you help other people get what they want? Now, as salespeople, I know we don't like to call them salespeople, but come on, we're all salespeople, guys. We've been trained, hopefully, very well with this. Someone reaches out, says, hey, I saw your post. I'd love to get a challenge pack. Hopefully, you've been trained to do this. Oh, I would love to help you out. Let me ask you this. What are your goals? Right? You can't sell a product to somebody if you don't know what their goals are. I mean, what if you sell somebody Body Beast because that's your favorite program, And what they really want to do is lose 50 pounds, and they have no desire to put on any muscle. You just set that person up for failure, right? Now, I know obviously there's ways we can adjust the meal plan to make sure that they're losing weight, but that is not the best program for that, right? What if they have really, really bad knee problems and they're not very mobile, and you sell them Insanity Max 30? You have just screwed them. Because if they've got bad knees, Shaun T is about to chew them up and spit them out. Would you agree? They need something a little easier on the knees. What if they're like me and they just hate cardio? You sell me Insanity Max 30, I take it home, I do day one, I throw up, you will get a really, really mean message from me. Why didn't you tell me this was suicide? You could have at least warned me that it was going to be 30 minutes of basically just hating my life. I would much rather lift weights with Siggy than jump around doing burpees with Shaun T. I'm sorry, that's just, I just can't do it. I won't. You have to ask them questions to find out what are their goals, what are the things they enjoy, what are the things they're not willing to do, and then you put together a custom package to help them get what they want. Am I right? I mean, I hope this is the way you guys do sales. I hope it is. I know you guys have been trained good. This is the same way we train coaches. We find out, what is it you want? Guys, not everybody gives a crap about emerald or diamond. Okay? Does that mean we should stop saying emerald and diamond? No, absolutely not. They're great trackers to find out where they're at. Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and tell you that most people did not see your post and say, man, Lindsay, I just saw your post the other day and I was thinking how amazing that would be to be a Diamond Beachbody coach. That would just be the greatest thing ever. Can you sign me up for that business so that I can work toward being a Diamond Beachbody coach? That is my passion in life, is to be the next Diamond Beachbody coach. Nobody knows what the heck that even means until we get them in our culture and teach them what that means. Most people want to quit a job, retire a spouse, have extra money for groceries or gas or vacations or pay off debts. That's what they want. And that's why they signed on. Or I could even go further and say community, purpose, family. All of these are the things they want. And yet very rarely do we use this language. Again, guys, it's just sales 101. You learn other people's needs, you learn their language, and then you speak in their language. The reason I believe my training groups are effective is because I spent hours upon hours upon hours learning your language. I don't put it in John Maxwell language. I put it in Beachbody language, which allows me to communicate and connect with you on a higher level than another outside public speaker would. Your job is to continuously find out from your team what they want in life, what they need, what really, really, really matters to them. Because the same way you sell to a customer is the same way you sell the vision of working the business to your coaches. Your job every single day as a leader is to sell to your team the vision of this business. And every single one of those people has a little bit different idea of what it is to them. Now, does that mean we can sit and have a one-on-one call with every single person on our downline? No. But we can take surveys. We can ask in the team page, hey, what's your number one goal? Not rank. Don't give me a rank goal. I want to hear, what's the thing you really want more than anything else from this business? And we collect data. And then we start putting our content into their words and their language. In my Art of Leading program, I had everyone take surveys in their team pages to do exactly this. Just find out what your team really wants. I bet most of you would find that 80% of your team actually wants the same thing, and it may be a language you haven't even used. And just imagine if you could tap into that language and speak to 80% of your team's heart. Imagine how much more motivated they would be if you speak their language instead of diamond, emerald, elite. And I'm not saying that we need to remove that language, because we don't, okay? We don't need to remove that language, but we need to bring the two together. Because then we can say things like this. I know that a bunch of you on this team, you told me that your goal was to quit your job. So let me tell you how valuable inviting is for your business to help you go to the next level, to make sure you can quit your job. Notice how much more power that had behind it than, guys, tonight I'm going to teach you how to invite, because that's going to take your business to diamond, and that's what's going to get your business to go to a rank advancement and get coaches on your team. See how shallow that sounds compared to the first thing? Now, here's the deal, guys. If we create producers, diamond's going to happen. That's all there is to it. You cannot become a producer and not hit diamond and not hit elite. Most people in this business do not have a problem with ranks. They have a problem with production. And they have a problem with production because we haven't hit their heart yet. We absolutely have to hit them where they're at, okay? Number 3 is mentoring. Now, again, each one of these is built on the last. If you don't properly motivate, if you don't take the time to learn people's language and find out what they really want, you have no business mentoring them. When you properly motivate, people want time with you. They want to be around you. They want to hear what it is that you have to say. They want to listen to you. Their heart is open. John Maxwell says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When people know that you care about what they want in life, they will be more than happy to spend one-on-one time with you. And that's what mentoring is. Mentoring is an intentional one-on-one relationship. And here's the thing. I need you guys to understand this. This is very, very important if you want any type of balance in your business and if you ever want to see your family again, okay? Everyone gets access to you, the model. Everyone gets access to you, the motivator, but only a few can have access to you, the mentor. Because we only have so many hours in a day, right? We can model every single day. That's just what we do. We can motivate in the team page. We can motivate in push groups. We can motivate in training groups. We can motivate the masses all at once. But mentoring is when we specifically pick someone out that we consider one of our key players. We see the potential in them, and we call them out the same way we would challenger guys. This is one of the ways you recruit coaches. You see people in challenge groups, you go, that person's got a spark. I'm seeking them out to make them a coach because I know they'd be great, right? We should be seeking people out in the team page and the training groups. That person's got a spark. I know they'd make an incredible leader. I need to mentor that person. And this is what I call intentional mentoring, because most people in this business are unintentionally mentoring. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of people have an acuity scheduler, and what they allow people to do is go in and schedule meetings anytime they want. They have certain hours on certain days, and anyone who wants can go in and schedule a call. Here's the problem that I see with that, guys, is all the people that really respect your time don't usually take the time to schedule calls with you because they don't want to be a burden. And the people that really schedule calls are usually the people who don't respect your time, and they're not even working their businesses. Now, they say they're working their businesses. Guys, I have 200 people in training groups every single month, and the most frequent messages I get are probably the dumbest questions I've ever heard in my life. Because the people who are really pressing in and really get it, they respect me and they respect my time enough not to try to interrupt my day. They understand they're in a training group and they don't need to be messaging Josh to ask him which hashtags they should use on Instagram. How in the world could I possibly know exactly what hashtags you need to use on Instagram? I got 200 people in a training. Do I really have time to tell 200 people which custom hashtags work for them? No way. There's no way I have time to do that. Most of the people that message me, now not all, me and Lindsay message each other a lot and I love her to death. She always has good questions for me. But most of the people that shoot me messages ask me some of the most ridiculous things in the world. How many of you get on one-on-ones and you almost dread the one-on-one because you know the person you're about to have a call with is going to ask you the same stupid crap they asked you last week? And they're going to have the same stupid attitude they had last week. And they're going to have the same exact results they had last week. And the truth is they're just on a call with you to have somebody to whine and complain to. And they haven't done anything that you told them to do last time. Does that ever happen to anybody, or am I all alone on this? Can I see some heads? Okay. You have got to limit your access to the masses. If you want to go to a higher level, you need to be intentional about seeking out the right people. Because the right people are usually got their head down, working their business, and they're not even thinking about reaching out to you unless they need something. And so this is why I call it intentional mentoring, because most mentoring done in this business is if you need something, shoot me a message and I'll answer your question for you. Right? Most of the rock stars in this business, they have mentors, but there's nothing intentional going on there. They just shoot them a question when they have one. And intentional mentoring is when you say, okay, that's my rock star and I need to invest in them. I was listening to the Shalene podcast about a year ago. I don't listen to a ton of podcasts anymore because sometimes it's just overwhelming, all the incredible ideas that everyone has, and I get distracted. But there was this guy, and he was the person that helped launch Canva. He was behind a lot of the marketing with it. Maybe some of you have heard this podcast. He was also the guy that helped market the iPod. And Shalene was asking him, how in the world do you always find such awesome products to get on board with? And I love his answer so much. Actually, sorry, I already screwed it. He said, how do you always make products so good? That was the question Shalene asked. How do you always take these products and just make them so incredible? And he said, I don't make products incredible. I find incredible products. And I think that is one of the greatest leadership lessons I've ever heard. And to be honest, that's the only reason I have a successful business today, is not because I create successful people. I seek out successful people and I help them have a little bit more success. When me and Brittany Power started working together, she was already successful, guys. Second year in her business, she was number 35 in the company. That's pretty impressive. She was already hitting Success Club 70, 80, sometimes 90. She did not need me to come in and make her successful. What she needed was for me to come in and help her make a few tweaks, help her become more intentional about her leadership, ask her questions that she wasn't willing to ask herself, to make a few fine adjustments. But here's the deal, guys. Making a few fine adjustments with a rock star gives way bigger returns than making 100 adjustments with someone who isn't going to do anything. Would you guys agree? When it comes to money, all of us are hopefully careful about who we invest money in. If you were going to invest $10,000, would you seek out a company who is already proving themselves, who is already putting in the work, and who is already growing on their own? Or would you find some startup company that hadn't proved anything at all and say, you know what? I just got a good feeling about them. I think I'm just going to throw 10 grand at them and hope that somehow it pays off. Would anybody do that? If you wouldn't invest your money that way, why would you invest your time that way? Your time is so much more valuable than money. I can always make more money, guys. If something happens that I lose my money, I can get on the phone right now and message 100 people and have a few new clients and make a few more sales. If you've had any success in this business at all, you know you can always find ways to make more money. But there are no ways to get more time. You get 24 hours a day, and that's it. You cannot invest your time in the wrong people. And that is a really tough pill to swallow, because I know a lot of you have a lot of good people on your team that you really care about. But good people do not equal results. Intentional people equal results. And in John Maxwell's book, Intentional Living, he talks about the difference between people with good intentions and people who have intentional living. Guys, I grew up in a church world. I don't know what your background is. I grew up, everyone in my family is basically a pastor except for me. I grew up surrounded by incredibly nice people with good intentions that never did a single thing to change the world. Now, they had good intentions. They wanted to help the community. They wanted to change the world, but they sat on the pew every single Sunday morning and just listened and listened and listened and listened and listened and never did a single thing. Does that sound like some people on your team? There are some people, I call them knowledge hoarders. They have been on every single team call. They've read every single personal development book. They have gone to every single team event. And to you, you think they're fully invested. But the only thing they're fully invested in is collecting more information. And I don't care how much you mentor that person. You can give them 30 different tips. The only thing that's going to change their business is for them to finally decide to do something. And I don't say this to disrespect those people. I love them to death. They're great people. I love people, all people, no matter what. I just can't afford to spend my time with those people, because I do want to make a difference in the world. And the only way I can do that is to spend my time with people who also want to make a difference in the world. And when I say want to make a difference, I mean they're willing to work for it. They're willing to get their hands dirty. So we have to model. We have to do the right behaviors. In doing so, we will earn the right to motivate. If we're not modeling, guys, we're a bunch of hypocrites. And nobody in the world likes hypocrites. Would you agree? In fact, some of you got a very bad taste in your mouth when I mentioned I come from a religious background. Why? If you have a bad taste in your mouth about religion, it's because you've seen a whole lot of hypocrites. A whole lot of people that say crap they don't do. Nobody likes hypocrites, guys. And I don't care if you're from the right or the left or the east or the west or the north or the south. Hypocrites suck. The only way to properly be able to motivate people is if you're actually modeling what you say. And then we get the right to motivate. But in motivating, we have to be very careful to help others reach their goals, not use them to reach our goals. And if we do that properly, we earn the right to mentor a few. And if we mentor a few, we will eventually multiply. Now, I want to remind you of something. Just because you mentor 5 people does not mean you multiply 5 people. Everything we do in business is a numbers game. You are going to mentor people, and they're going to let you down, and they're going to disappoint you, just like you sold challenge packs to people who dropped off HD. Just like you recruited coaches who went inactive. Just like you helped people get to diamond that fell off track. When you mentor people, you have got to find a way, guys, to emotionally remove yourself from the results. And that's why it's so important to spend your time with the right people. I want you to spend your time with people that you would bet money on, because that's what you're about to do. You're about to bet your time on these people, which is more valuable than money. But know that it's still a bet. It's still a gamble. There is no 100% guarantee. And so what you have to be willing to do is reevaluate every several months to find out, am I still working with the right people? And I want to give you this question to ask yourself, because I read this question from John Maxwell, and I think it is an incredible question to help you in the process of reevaluation, okay? And this is not something you do after 1 month of working with someone, okay? This is something you do after several months of working with someone. And I love this magical question. If you knew if you knew then what you know now, would you still have chose them to mentor? And if the answer is no, it's probably time to move on and invest your time in someone else. If you knew then what you know now, would you still mentor them? I've had several clients that 3 months into the relationship, I'm like, I really wish I'd have known about these issues before I said yes to working with them, because I found out they did not have the work ethic that they claimed to have. They did not take responsibility for their actions the way they said they would. But I have other people who 3 months down the road have maybe not got the results that I had hoped for, but I don't regret working with them for 1 second, because they do put in the work, they do bring the energy, they do have the positive attitude. And have they had the exact results I wanted? No, but they are moving forward. Does that make sense? And I will never, ever, ever regret working with those people. I'll work with them for the rest of their lives as long as they're willing to stay on my schedule. It's not about do they move as fast as I want them to move. It's just about do they do the things they say they'll do. Does that make sense? Nobody's going to move as fast as you want them to, guys. Nobody. And I love, love, love to share the story of how I helped Brittany Powers go from 2-star to 7-star in 3 months. But guys, that's like the infomercial stories. That's not the normal, right? We see the infomercials. We see people in 30 days that went from 250 pounds to 140 pounds. That's not the norm. We still need those stories to inspire us to make some change, but that is not the norm. So do not get distracted and do not get discouraged when people don't have the results that you want them to have. As long as they're doing what they said they would do and they're at least moving forward. If they're not moving forward, then you have to wonder if they're really doing what they said they would do. And here's where we have to use questions. I want to end with this because I think this is really, really, really valuable. In mentoring people, the most valuable tool you have is questions. And the reason I say this is because too many times we're trying to tell the people we're mentoring what to do. Okay, I looked at your Instagram and I see you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you need to do this, you need to do more of that. Oh, you're not getting those results? Okay, you need to do more of this. Sometimes that's okay, but that's not always the right answer. And I love what Christian Simpson says. He says it is arrogant and ignorant to assume that other people can do exactly what you did and get the same results. And here's why, guys. Because the people that you're working with have different personality types. I got a really good YouTube video on that. You should check it out. They have different backgrounds. They have different values. They have different work ethics. They have different confidence levels. And most of the time when someone is not doing something, it's not because they don't know to do it. It's because there is some underlying fear that's holding them back from doing it. So my favorite question to ask, in fact, I got it on a sticky note right here at my computer to remind myself to ask over and over and over, why? Why? So for instance, on a call, I might ask someone, what are you going through right now? Honestly, Josh, I'm just in a funk. Why? Well, I haven't hit Success Club yet this month. I mean, it's winding down. I don't know what's going on. I'm frustrated. Okay, well, let me ask, why haven't you hit Success Club? It would have been really easy there to say, okay, well, we need to talk to more people. We need to put out like a call to action post. We need to run a Facebook ad. But instead I ask, why haven't you hit Success Club? Well, honestly, we were on vacation last week and I took some time off. I checked out of the business. I knew it would hurt me, but I didn't know it would hurt me this bad. And now I'm just struggling in my confidence. Okay, so now I understand at least why they haven't hit Success Club. That helps me to help them. That's usually not the answer, though. I kind of just pulled that out of my butt because it's summertime. Usually the answer is, to be honest, I haven't sent out enough invites. I've been starting a lot of conversations, but I haven't actually pulled the plug on anyone. Again, here we go. Okay, well, here's what we need to do. We need to message 20 people today and invite them to the challenge group. No, you don't. You need to ask why. Why haven't you? Why are you having all these conversations without actually sending an invite? Here's where we get to the real problem. I'm really struggling. I'm really just afraid that they're all going to say no. I'm afraid no one's going to want to work with me. I'm afraid. I'm telling you right now, everything that people are failing to do is because some type of mindset that they're dealing with that's holding them back from doing it. And if you only take the time to fix the action and don't take the time to fix the mindset, they will keep falling on their face over and over and over. They'll go try to do it, but they still got that mindset issue, and they'll come right back. They'll try to do it again. You got the mindset issue, they'll come right back. But if we can fix the mindset issue, we deal with the mind and the inspiration side first. Then we give them something to do. And then we give them accountability to make sure they're doing it. I like to say it this way. It goes inspiration, information, implementation. So many trainings fail so bad because they are either one, and this is, to be honest, a fault of public speakers, so inspirational that no one ever even gets to the implementation. We just told a bunch of incredible stories about how people got their lives changed, then we gave you nothing to do. You walked away feeling great, you're so excited, you're so happy, but you wake up tomorrow and you don't do anything different. We failed. Most trainings skip the inspiration and go straight to all of the information. Let me tell you 100 different ways to reach out to people. Let me tell you 1,000 different ways to grow your Instagram. Let me tell you 1,000,000 different kinds of posts to create. Okay, go do it. No one's inspired, and we overload them with so much information that no one can even possibly act on everything you gave them. You absolutely have to inspire them first, then give them the information they need. When I create a training group, I always put it together, and then I ask myself, did I keep it to only what they needed, or did I add too much crap? Just because you know it doesn't mean they need it. Guys, I could talk to you about leadership for 8 hours tonight. Does that mean it's what you need? No, absolutely not. I believe these are the 4 things that you need. And that's why I'm sharing those 4 things. To be honest, just about anything you want to teach your team can usually be narrowed down to 3 or 4 simple things. They don't need 20 different ways to reach out on Instagram. They just need 3 or 4 ways. They do those 3 or 4 things, they'll have success. But then there's got to be accountability. That's the implementation. If you're giving someone your one-on-one time, you better be taking notes about the things that you said and the things that you asked them to do. And there better be some type of check-in the very next time you talk, if not before, to make sure they're sticking to it. We have learned from health and fitness, from our challenge groups, that accountability is the number 1 tool that people need to get results. Now, Shakeology is amazing. I love it to death. Our workout programs are incredible, But people buy that stuff all of the time on their own and don't have success. Why? Because they don't have the accountability. Accountability is the number one ingredient to success in anything you do in life. So here's the thing. When you're mentoring someone, I need you to ask lots of questions to find out what they're going through, to find out what they need, to find out what they're missing, to find out what they should be doing. But I need you more than anything else to just be their accountability buddy, to make sure they stick to the things they said they need to do. If you can hold someone accountable for their actions for long enough, they will eventually have results. It's impossible to do the right things over and over and over and over. The compound effect works 100 times out of 100. And so we got to be intentional about mentoring the right people and holding them accountable to the right actions. I know that was a lot to take in, and the reason I gave you so much tonight is because I know we've got people from diamond to superstar diamond. If you're here tonight and you're a diamond, I'm going to ask you this. Do me a huge favor and don't invest all of your time into mentoring. You need to invest the majority of your time into modeling and motivating. Honestly, you should spend 80% of your time just modeling, just doing the things you know you need to do to move your business forward so that you can find people to actually motivate. Does that make sense? If you are a full-time coach, and when I say full-time, I don't mean you happen to work from home. I mean you have a full-time income. Does that make sense? A lot of people say they're full-time coaches, and all they mean is they do it from home. It doesn't mean that they're actually making the income level. If you are a full-time coach, now you're ready to take 3 to 5 people under your belt and show them the way. 3 to 5 people. If you try to intentionally mentor more people than that, you will usually lose sight of modeling. And you'll get overwhelmed, and you're probably not spending time with the right people. If you're spending 15 hours a week on one-on-one calls, guys, that's really, really draining. You don't get paid for that time, and you probably don't have 15 people that on your team that you'd be willing to bet money on. Am I right? Maybe you do. Maybe you have a whole lot of quality people, but I'm going to ask you to narrow it down to 3 to 5 people. Okay? If you do that and are very, very intentional with 3 to 5 people, guys, you are going to see those, at least a few of those people go to a whole new level. Because intentional mentoring is how we help people fly. It doesn't happen on accident. Sometimes we're lucky, but I don't believe in luck. I don't like luck. This sounds really stupid. I don't even open the fortune cookies at Chinese restaurants. My wife gets pissed at me. She hands me, she's like, open your fortune cookie. I'm like, babe, I make my own fortune. I don't trust luck. I don't trust it for a second. I get out and do the work that I want to happen. So I hope you guys have taken a lot from this call. I know because we have a lot of people who work with a lot of people. I want to open up to some Q&A time. But I also want to let you know, if you need yourself some extra accountability and you need yourself a mentor in your life, I know a lot of times in this business, you get successful enough that no one's intentionally mentoring you. And that's why I work with so many Beachbody coaches, is to provide people with the accountability and support. Now, my one-on-one schedule is completely full, but I've just launched a new program. It's called Building Your Legacy Mentorship. And what it is it's an ongoing Facebook group. And basically what I do is once a month, I give some type of teaching. And in this teaching, I'm going to give you some very basic, simple inspiration and practical things to put into your business. And then at the end, I'm going to ask questions to help you ask yourself the questions that I would ask in a one-on-one session, to help you get intentional about how to specifically implement that in your own business. Everyone's in a different season, and I understand that, and that's why I'm all about helping people identify their season and do the thing that their season needs. So you'll get one teaching call a month. And then within the Facebook group, you're going to get weekly activities to make sure you're actually acting out the things you're learning. Here's the thing. My one-on-one sessions have gotten very expensive as my demand has gone up. And so I created this group for two reasons. One, to be accessible to more people, but two, to be affordable to more people. So here's the thing. It's $275 for 12 months. All of my other training groups run about $200 for 4 weeks. This one's $275 for an entire year, or you can pay $30 a month. So here's the deal. I just actually launched this a few weeks ago. We haven't even done our first call. So if you sign up now, you're going to get in on the first call. Here's the thing. I made this deal for everyone that signed up my very first week, and I want to extend this deal to you guys who are on the call. This isn't for everybody, so don't go tell all your friends about this. This is just for the people on this call tonight. If you sign up tonight or tomorrow and pay for the year in advance, I'm going to allow you to pick 2 people on your team to add for free for 3 months. So if you sign up, you pay $275, you get an entire year with me, and you can pick 2 of your coaches to spend 3 months in that group. How many of you say, Josh, if I could just have 2 of my key players, if I could get some help with those 2 people, my business could go to a whole new level. And that's why I'm creating that option, so that you can bring a few people along with you. They can get this kind of teaching. They can get this type of inspiration for 3 months. I promise you this, they spend 3 months in this group, they're going to be willing to invest $30 a month to stay in the group after that. Okay? So here's the deal. You can go to joshuacoats.com to sign up for that. Yes, Miss Natanya Downs is already in there. She's another one of my lifers that's in every group. I'm going to type it in here because people always spell my last name wrong. joshuacoats.com. There's no E. And it's called Building Your Legacy Mentorship. I have some other groups on there if you want to check them out. If you struggle with recruiting, and that's the thing you need to be most intentional about. Hey, what's up, Christy? The art of recruiting will help people to get intentional about building your business and getting fresh blood and fresh energy. Okay? So there's a couple groups you can check out. I highly encourage Building Your Legacy for everyone. It really is fitting to everyone that would be on this call tonight. So thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to be on the call tonight. Thank you for allowing me to speak into your lives. I really, really do hope that I gave you. I know there were a lot of nuggets tonight, but I hope there was one specific nugget that you got that's what you needed for your business right now. So, Lindsay, I'm going to hand it over to you. If you want to kind of host Q&A for maybe, I got about 20 minutes before I probably need to go get a little bit of rest before my baby stays up all night.
Sure. I know you have a question coming. Natanya, where are you at?
I muted myself.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey. So Lindsay and I were just kind of having a side combo about mentoring.
So you weren't listening at all? You guys were just texting back?
Just right now, just like a minute ago.
Yeah. I've been mentoring probably since I was in your first group last fall. I started my own mentoring, and I only do a couple people. But my question is, so I have an elite coach on my team.
Yes.
Would I want to mentor her since she fits the bill to me wanting to, put my money in on her and bet on her, and she does what she needs to do, or kind of let her fly and mentor her own team? Like, how far do I go in the downline? And just what are your tips on that?
Good question. This is the struggle. So let me ask you this. Where are you at in your business? What's your rank?
4 qual.
Okay, 4 qual. That's awesome. You've come so far.
A rocky 4 qual right now, but yeah.
You're going to be an elite coach this year, am I right?
Yes, I'm going to be an elite coach this year.
Are you still going to need some help and some pointers and some tips next year?
Oh, always and forever.
Or are you just going to be good to go forever?
Oh, no, never. Never stop learning, right?
So if you would still need help, do you think she might still need some help?
Yeah, I just feel like it's almost like backwards, because she's already elite. But then for the accountability, because like I'm pushing for that too, and it's like when you're at that level, you're at that level, right? So we could use it. Sorry. We could use it. Can you be quiet and go to Leonardo in the other room? Thank you. We can use it for accountability with each other in a sense, you know?
Mentorship can take on different roles. It doesn't have to look the same as mentoring one of your Emerald coaches. And you can still ask her, hey, I know you're busy. I know you got a team, but I also know we all need someone on our side. We all need someone to be that support, to be that help, to be the accountability. I'd really like to continue working with you. I know I'm learning from you, and I hope you're learning from me. Let's set up something regular. It doesn't have to be as often as with your other coaches. Okay? My mentor, personally, he gave me bi-weekly calls for my first year in business. Eventually, my business got so busy, my schedule was so full, I almost lost some of my time for my mentor, but I still need him. And I've actually we've kind of both been all over the place. I'm in the process of trying to set up some type of a monthly call with him. Even though the specific area of my business that I really work has kind of bypassed his, if that makes sense. We have different businesses that look different, but my online training has far bypassed his kind of online stuff, but he still has so much other wisdom and knowledge and information. And if nothing else, sometimes I just need to bounce things off somebody because I don't get to do that in my training groups. Hey guys, I'm really struggling with this in my business. Can anybody in my training group help me? Can you guys answer my questions for a minute? That doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. Because like you said, because people I'm mentoring right now are obviously pushing for diamond, but when you're over and beyond diamond, it's just a whole nother ball game. So I feel like it's just like double dipping. We're mentoring each other in a way that like iron sharpens iron, I guess, you know?
It does.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just wanted to ask about that because even her team, she has, star diamonds on her team. So, would she dip into those and bet money on them, or would she try to go for the ones that are, because I do have the people that say that they're going to do this, that, and the other. And then, like you said, it never, ever happens. And Lindsay's like, yeah, let's adjust this, because it's exhausting. It's really, really exhausting.
It is. And it's no fun. That
just opened up my eyes to like, okay, well, I would definitely bet money into Jackie with my eyes closed for sure. But I never thought about this whole mentoring thing ever.
Right. So again, you don't necessarily have to only mentor people on the way to diamond or only mentor people beyond diamond. Okay. Remember, there are some things that your business does need. And if you want to go from 10 star to 15 star, for instance, you're obviously going to have to help some people get to diamond, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So sometimes you need to be intentional about some of the things that you actually need for your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why I was like, because right now the ones that need to be diamond, I wouldn't necessarily bet that much money on them. I know that sounds horrible, but that's just where I'm at right now. So
find the ones you would bet money on. If you wouldn't bet money on any of them, find a way to put them together in a group and find a way to mentor them as a group so that you don't have as much money invested. In other words, we're creating a mutual fund where it's going to several places. There's less opportunity to lose money.
So this is just for your personally sponsored, or would you recommend going down into the downline a couple levels?
This is a question that people ask a lot. And I think it's really just a mind game. I think everyone knows the right answer to this, but we just still have to ask. Do people beyond your PS coaches affect your income?
Yeah.
So why in the world would you not include them if they need you? Okay. Now, if they don't need you, that's different. If they're in your 5-star coaches downline, they may not need you. But I know a lot of people who have dead-end upline coaches.
Yeah.
Right? And if that person is in your downline and you would bet money on them, you better go get them and bring them with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Carly Del Carlo makes a whole lot of money for Sarah Try. She's 3 levels down.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Oh, yeah. So it doesn't directly affect your rank, so to speak, but like you said on the call, like you want to help other people get to, their goals.
It's all about rank, man.
You get yours. So volume, I'm working on my volume. So I'm like, that makes perfect sense then, because that's what's going to get my volume.
There's a lot of people with impressive ranks that ain't paying the bills.
Right, exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can still have rank goals.
Yeah.
But you got to decide what you need in your business. Is your main goal rank? Is your main goal income? Is it a combination of both? Put together a plan for your goals. Okay? So what I said earlier was don't use others to reach your goals. Help them reach their goals. But that doesn't mean you don't think about your goals. You still think about your goals and the intentional things you need to happen. And then you seek people out to empower and to help with their goals, knowing that doing that will eventually lead to you reaching your goals. But that doesn't mean you just throw your goals out the window and forget all about it and just say, oh, we'll just see what happens. I'm just going to go help a bunch of people. That would just be nonsense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because my goals are personally more income related, like weekly income, and the only way to get that is through volume. So, perfect.
Find some rock stars and help them create that volume.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Sorry for the loud background noise.
Okay.
It's not quite bedtime over here.
Mine would be the same if my kids hadn't gone to bed.
All right.
Written those kids during calls. I'm just kidding.
Oh, look, she answered you, Nat. She said, I'm here. Yes. Okay, next. Bill and Jamie have a question.
Bill and Jamie?
Oh, it's Jamie. It's
Hey,
Jamie.
what's up?
It says Bill and Jamie.
So is it possible to reverse coaches' mindsets when you were kind of the one who created the monsters in the first place? When you're first getting going and you want to do everything for your coaches and help them, and you've created these monsters who now when you don't hold their hand, they think you hate them, and you've kind of become a boss. And they have potential because they've reached diamond. So can you reverse that mindset so they can run their own businesses and can become more of a mentor instead of a boss?
So explain to me, I heard a lot of things in there. What is the goal? What do you want?
To take coaches who are diamond, who have fallen out, who have the potential to be there because they got there, they have that ability. Is it worth it to even help to motivate them to get that back when they're not doing anything on their own to do that?
Great question. Let me ask you this. If Walmart, who is a big-time company, went bankrupt tomorrow, would you go invest all of your money into the business to help them get back to where they were?
Probably not.
Diamond's a tricky thing because it fools us. Yesterday's production does not equal tomorrow's success. Today's production equals tomorrow's success. If people are not willing to do anything, I don't care if they've been a 35 million star diamond. If they're not willing to do anything, what are we going to do for them? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, we can still be there for them. We can still motivate them in the group setting. But if they've fallen from diamond and they're not willing to do anything to get back, I mean, there's very, very little we can do for them other than just be there for them, offer support. But you alone cannot change what they want in life. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single person on this call that has more than 5 diamonds has at least 2 diamonds who have fallen.
It's hard to get out of that mindset that you want it more than they do, kind of a thing.
It's really hard, but you just have to, and I think putting it in the money thing sometimes feels a little sleazy, but I think helps us to look at it with logic. Would I bet my money? Now, here's the thing. If Walmart went bankrupt tomorrow, but the very next week I saw them out busting their tails, setting up new marketing plans, putting out signs, if I saw them doing the work that it took to start rebuilding, then I'd be willing to invest some money in them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if they go bankrupt and just sit around and do nothing and just sit on their tails, I'm not giving them more money. Does that help at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Now, you still love them, again, okay? You still love them. You still care about them. If they reach out and have a question, I'm not saying you ignore them. That's not my point. But I don't know that you need to intentionally mentor them just because, well, one time they were productive.
Right.
That's no guarantee that they'll ever be productive again.
Right.
I hope they will be. Gosh, I hope they will be. I'm going to figure out a way to get all of the fallen diamonds in this entire company back to diamond and moving forward. It's just going to take me 30 or 40 years to figure out how to do that.
Good luck with that.
Because there's a whole pool of them, man. I mean, there's like a freaking graveyard of fallen diamonds, and it's bigger than any other graveyard in the country.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Josh?
We have, hang on.
I'm sorry, I just was going to add to hers when you get done because I had something that I had the same thing happen a couple years ago, and I was going to tell her what I'll do, but I can message you later.
Okay.
Okay. What if you're a coach seeking to be mentored?
What if you're a coach seeking to be mentored?
Yeah, this is from Kaylee. Kaylee,
Okay.
you're on here somewhere.
Then you ask someone to mentor you. Is there? I need to talk to her because I feel like there's more to this question.
Kaylee, where are you, Kaylee? There
Where
she
you at,
is.
Kaylee?
Hold on. Can you unmute, or do you want me to unmute you? There. Okay, you're unmuted.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. There you are.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi, it's going good. Thank you. It's funny. I mean, my upline coach just reached out to me and said, like, why didn't you tell me before? And it's kind of for the same reason that you respect people's time. So it's kind of like you feel like these people that you want to duplicate, you feel like they're so busy with their own PS coaches. So you're kind of like struggling, like looking through as many training videos, and, but it's hard because there's so many out there, and you get it literally, you become like that information, like where it's like, you're just getting overwhelmed instead of like you said, those few key points and focusing in and then going forward with that. So, but I needed kind of that accountability, somebody to help me kind of sort through my own head and like everything going on in my day and try and like, help me to schedule that time and help me to do, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you need somebody outside looking in to go, okay, girl, like this is how you got to figure this out. Because they know you personally, they know your situation personally, and they get it. They get what it is to try to juggle all these things and be like, okay, this is how you're going to carve it out because this is what you want. You know, and I've been needing that, and I didn't know what to do. Like I was like, I don't know. I mean, I know it sounds stupid. I don't want to be like the stupid hashtag question. I kind of feel like that right now.
No. I get it. You want to ask for help, but you're afraid they're too busy.
Yeah, you just don't want to be a nuisance. Kind of like, girl, you're doing great. I mean, I hear like, oh, you're doing great, but I'm kind of feeling like, but I'm not growing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just meh right now. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, Kaylee. Kaylee, is that it? Am I pronouncing it right?
Kaylee, yes.
Okay, just making sure. I butcher people's names all the time, and I hate it when people butcher. I don't know how you butcher Josh, but somehow it happens.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If you had a coach in your downline,
yes,
okay, that was working their business, doing awesome, you saw that they were doing awesome, and they reached out to you and said, is there any way I could get a little of your time? I need some help. I need some extra accountability. I really want to grow. And I promise you, I will not waste your time. Can you give me a little time? What would you say?
that's an easy answer. Of course, say yes. Yeah.
So don't.
I know.
Here's the thing. Just because not everyone in the company is living out this intentional mentoring that I'm talking about, doesn't mean that they don't want to mentor people. It just means they're doing what they're doing with what they know. That's all anybody can do. I wouldn't need to teach it if everybody already knew it, right?
Yes.
What they are doing is what everyone else is doing. People who schedule calls with them, they're taking them. And 80% of the calls that they take, they don't even like.
Yeah.
They're frustrating.
I feel it.
Breath of fresh air it will be when they see, oh, thank God I get to talk to Kaylee today. I know she's going to show up with excitement. I know that we're gonna work through some things. but she's going to actually work through it, and she's actually going to go do the crap that I talk about. Oh, I'm so thankful I get to spend a little time with Kaylee today.
I feel you.
See what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I'm kind of almost figuring out maybe it was a lack of confidence in myself for reaching out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Again, like I said earlier, people who respect your time don't usually ask for it because we know you've got stuff going on. But we all still have to be intentional about seeking out someone to spend that time with.
Yeah.
And we communicate with them. I do respect your time. I do know you're busy, and that's why I swear I will take full advantage of anything you give me.
Right on. Thanks.
Sound good, Kaylee?
Yeah, Josh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'd say this is the most dudes I've ever seen on a call, and it's the coolest thing ever. I'm used to lucky enough to have one other guy.
So Jeff is somewhere on here. There he is. So this is Jeff's down line of diamonds and above, which includes myself. I'm somewhere deep in the tree or whatever you call it.
Well, thank you for letting me speak for your diamonds. I appreciate it.
No worries. Glad you could come talk with us, Josh.
Yeah, you bet. Honored to be here, man. Honored anytime I can add value to leaders. I'm just honored.
I guess they call me Papa Bear sometimes.
I love it.
I feel like I just want to say something because with the mentoring question, I'll ask a question. Would you mentor people who are getting Success Club but not recruiting? So they're just constantly getting points, but they're not actually recruiting and building a team.
I would, because if they're hitting Success Club, man, what an easy adjustment to just get them to sell a new product.
Yeah.
Now, if you have 5 or 6 discussions with them and they're still not making that adjustment because they're not willing to face the fears that they have about that next step, then of course we need to move on. But the second I see someone selling a bunch of challenge packs, man, you give me 20 minutes with that person, I can turn them into a recruiter. In my opinion, that's really easy. What's really hard is taking someone that doesn't put up any numbers at all, trying to help them figure out how to recruit. But at least if they're hitting Success Club, that shows me they're doing some work. They just may not be doing all of the right work. But at least they're working, man. That's, gosh, that's something to be thankful for. Finally, someone that's freaking actually doing the work. That's just my 2 cents on it.
What if they're really stubborn to being, I guess, teachable? Like you go over the same step over and over again, and they just don't want to bust out of their comfort zone. And that's probably why they're not recruiting, if that makes sense. So
again, questions. Okay.
Question.
Here's the thing. You told me that you wanted to quit your job, and I'm just making up a scenario here, of course. Okay. You told me you wanted to quit your job. Now, let me ask you this. What is it going to be like 5 years from now if you don't get to quit your job? Well, I'm going to be worn out, depressed, still not spending time with my family, still not have enough money, still not have this. So let me ask you this. Would you be willing to make a few adjustments to what you're doing if I could help you get that dream that you really want? Most of the time, we're not pointing to what they really want. Again, we're not speaking their language. We're just saying, now, come on, you need to recruit coaches. That's how we build. That's how we become successful. That's how we rank advance, blah, blah, blah. That's what you have to do. So why aren't you doing this? Instead, we got to hit them in the gut. We got to hit them where it hurts. Now, after we've done that, usually they will open up and receive. Once they've admitted, A, I really don't want that to happen, or I really want that to happen, and B, that's not what's actually happening, usually people are willing to take some advice once they have said out of their mouth that they're basically wrong. But that's why we also create accountability for them. And once we've made that adjustment to actually speaking their language and get them to budge, if 2 months have passed by and they're still not changing anything, now it's probably time to move on. And if they're not willing to admit that they're wrong, and they're not willing to admit when you've done it properly and used questions to help set it up, and they're still too stubborn, I mean, there's not really anything you can do for them. You just have to bless and release. I'm sure you've heard that before, which sucks. I hate it. I hate those two. I hate those words, bless and release, but we have to.
Words I live by. I actually have some very, very close PS coaches of mine who I've had to do that to, bless and release until they're ready. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday, very dear friend of mine and one of my first coaches who's finally ready. I have my doubts, but we're going to talk. You got to bless and release sometimes before they come back.
Yeah. And they usually, when they do come back, they come back a lot stronger, because now they actually respect your time and they know that you're willing to let them go, as opposed to just taking advantage of your time because they know you'll just do it.
Yep. I think too many coaches will sometimes stay back and run with the pack versus running forward with the lead pack. And that's, I think, what most of you guys, and I'm just not to jump on you, Josh, but some of you guys are at a point where you're staying back with the whole pack because you think that's what you need to do as a leader, when you need to really be working with those that want to run faster in the front. And that's how you grow your business.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. And I love to use the Harriet Tubman analogy. Harriet Tubman freed hundreds, maybe thousands of slaves. We don't really have the records on it. But she wasn't even able to save her own husband. Her own husband was not willing to pay the price for slavery. He was too scared of being caught. And she said, I would rather die in freedom than live in slavery. She helped hundreds, if not thousands. In my opinion, she's the greatest hero of the civil rights movement, because she was actually in the trenches doing the work. And she wasn't even capable of saving her own husband. Had she stayed behind with her husband, hundreds and thousands of people would have went on getting beat to death, getting tortured. She had to run out ahead to help the people who actually wanted it. And I always like to add at the end of that is not a marriage lesson. It's only a leadership lesson. Okay. I'm not giving marriage advice to leave people. Okay. That's your own stuff to deal with.
All right. Christy has a question about your training.
Okay.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good. You doing okay?
I'm doing good. This was a great call. Thank you. I enjoy all your calls. I really, really, really liked what you said. Did I keep it to only what they needed, or did I give them what they needed? So I had a question about that, and I was looking at it in training. A lot of times when I get a new coach, I want to give them everything at once.
Right.
And I'm trying to keep it simple. So I just wanted to kind of go on that and ask you, and the same thing with customers, that I still find after 5 years that I'll go on and on and on and on, and I'll tell them too much. Yeah. And it's weird. God gave us 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to talk. And I'm and I have a lot of coaches that are oh, I do that. I just wrote this quote on our team page because I thought it was just gold. And I wanted to get your opinion on, basically, can you just kind of give us a little bit more info on exactly what you said, to be able to make it a little more, to be able to know when to just only give a very small amount of information? Just wanted to kind of have you give us a little more info on that stuff.
Yeah, definitely, Christy. It's a great question. So I don't know that I necessarily have a set rule per se, but what I usually try to do is think, what are the 3 or 4 things they have to know to succeed?
Okay.
For instance, let's just use an example here, okay? Let's talk about posting, okay? there's probably 100 different ways people could post, right? There's 100 different apps they could use to make their posts. There's 1,000 different ways they could tell their story. But what are the 3 ways that they absolutely, if you don't know these 3 ways of posting, you're screwed. That's the way I try to think about it. If you don't have these 3 apps, man, your stuff's gonna suck. For me, that's WordSwag, that's Rona Design, and that's a thing called Witagram. I use that to like clean up my pictures. If I get into any more apps than that, I'm wasting time. Because each one of those things does a very specific thing that I need it to do. And all the other apps out there just do the same crap a little bit differently. And so that's just a simple example. The same thing with, okay, I've got a brand new coach, okay? They just signed up yesterday and I want them to have success. What are the 3 or 4 things they absolutely have to do every single day to be successful? Do they really need to know how to have a website? No. Do they need a YouTube channel? No. Do they really need, there's all these things that could help them, but they don't need it to be successful.
So just keeping things simple, like just drink your shake, make sure you're working out, read personal development, just keep it very, very simple for them.
I mean, to be honest, I have a group called Clarity and Focus. It's specifically for newer coaches.
Mm-hmm.
All I teach them how to do is their 3 vital behaviors.
Oh gosh, that is awesome. I need to get every single one of my brand new coaches in that group.
Now, throw in a whole lot of inspiration and analogy with it to help them understand why those things are so important. But week 1, I teach them how to connect to their why and write their mission statement. And for me, that's kind of like the foundation of just making sure that you know why you're even doing this crap.
Okay.
Right? Week 2, I teach them about time management and how you would never, ever, ever throw away your money, just like I talked about earlier. So why would you throw away your time? There's no way in the world you should spend 3 hours a day playing on WordSwag when that doesn't make money, right? The only thing you have to do everything is your 3 vitals. Week 3, I talk about the value of personal development and why it's so important, why they need to do it. That's not really anything new. It's just helping them understand why, right? Week 4, I teach them on overcoming your fear. Because I know that as you do these 3 vital behaviors, you're going to run into fear over and over and over and over. And I want you to know that that's just normal. It's just something you have to work through. But, I mean, it's literally, that's it. That's the whole training.
How much is that training and how often do you run it?
It's $50 and it goes every single month. It's the cheapest training I have, and I'll never, ever, ever raise the price on it for the rest of my life because I always want there to be something cheap that newer coaches can get access to even if they're not making any money. If you're willing to eat spaghetti for a week, you can do Clarity and Focus.
And how long is it? Just last a month or?
4 weeks. Yep, 4 weeks.
Okay. That is awesome. That is really, I mean, that is just perfect.
And feel free to sign up yourself and go through it. Go duplicate it. I don't care.
Oh, this is awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. We have one more. Do you think it's possible to motivate someone who doesn't have a big why or a financial goal? She said when we talked that she doesn't message people, so she is not recruiting, is what I took from that. People just come to join her fitness groups, and that's the problem. She has to actively recruit coaches and send messages. So she's attracting the...
So she's hitting numbers, but she's not actually doing anything to get those numbers. So let me give you a few stipulations to help figuring out who you're going to mentor a little bit easier. I like to give just a few little things that you can kind of like, it sometimes just helps to measure people with a few things, okay? Number 1 is production. That's, do they put numbers on the board? Okay? I always say this is the easiest, most obvious, but it's not necessarily the most important, okay? Number 2 is activity. And that is, do they actually do the crap? There are some people that have production that aren't active at all. In fact, they just happen to have a bunch of friends with a whole bunch of money that were just like, oh, I'll do it, whatever. They hit Success Club 20. They didn't try. Let me ask you this. How long is that going to last? Give it a year and let's see how many friends you still have around that just want to sign up for a challenge pack, right? So production, activity, and the next is attitude. Do they have a good attitude? I don't know about you guys, but I don't care how much money someone makes me. If they got a crappy attitude, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to spend time with them. That's not worth the money. Not everything's about money, right? We probably do this because it's what we love. It's what we're passionate about, right? I ain't got time for a bunch of negative Nancys. And then the last thing is, do they add or take away? I believe that every single person you come in contact with does one or two things. They add to you or they take away. There are some people, my dad calls them leeches. And when you spend time with these people, you always walk away feeling like crap. There's just something about them. They just suck the life out of you. Can't mentor those people. I'm sorry. You can't afford to live life with the life sucked out of you. So I call them assholes. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard, Jeff. That is amazing. That needs to go on a meme or something. Like, that's awesome. I love it. So do they produce? Are they active? Do they have good attitudes? And when you spend time with them, do you walk away feeling encouraged? My favorite clients, yes, I help them. Yes, I add value to them, but I walk away more excited and more passionate about what I do. Those are the kind of people you need to spend your time with. So if they're hitting numbers because they just happen to run a fitness club, but they don't take time to actually seek people out, their level of success is going to be very limited. And there's not really any point in mentoring them because they don't want it. If they're not, you cannot motivate someone else. What you really do is find their motivation and draw it out of them. That's why we want to know where you want to go. What are you trying to get to? So that I can draw that out of you and remind you of it. But if they have no motivation of their own, there's nothing for you to draw on. I mean, I could sit here and talk till I'm blue in the face, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to work your business, it doesn't matter how many inspirational stories I tell, you're still not going to want to work your business. But if you really want to work your business and are just having some hiccups and are just having some doubts and are just having some fears, I can draw that inspiration out of you to get you to move past those doubts and past those obstacles and past those fears. Hopefully that helps.
Jackie, it's easier to give birth sometimes than raise the dead.
Dude, that was like the greatest thing ever. Assholes. I love it. I gotta be careful because it sounds appropriate, and I don't want to say it around my kids because I swear they'll call everyone on the planet an asshole if I accidentally say that in front of them. But that was brilliant. I love it. I will give you credit, but that may go into my trainings. You will get the credit for it, but that's gonna get repeated.
Use it and abuse it.
All right, I need to go get a little rest before little one keeps me up all night.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Jeff, for letting me speak to your team. Thank you,
Thanks,
Lindsay.
Josh, for your time.
And everybody give Lindsay a big hand for setting this up for us. So thank you, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Josh.
Good night, all.
Yes, thank you, Josh. Bye, guys.
Good night.